Welcome back to the Vale of Rheidol and to another workshop wander. Since it's the middle of the summer season and it's very hot outside, I thought we'd come inside and take a little wander and see what's been going on here over the last month or so. We'll start off with the progress on the Brecon Mountain Railway carriage, the fifth carriage for the fleet that's being constructed here in Aberystwyth. As you can see, the steelwork is nearing completion and the woodwork will begin shortly. It's going to be, as opposed to the carriages there already at Brecon, it's going to be an open-air summer car, which is also wheelchair accessible, with a pair of sliding doors at this end here and a ramp so that wheelchair users can be accommodated at this end. A much needed fifth member of the carriage fleet down there. It's now down here in the wood shop at the bottom end of the workshop, ready for the team here to start working on the seating and the interior woodwork of the carriage. Since we're down here, leaning against it, awfully conveniently, are three brand new station name boards for the Vale of Rheidol now, not the Brecon. These will be going up the line to replace some of the old 1983 built signs at Lanzarote and Capel Bangor and Aberfrwd respectively. Next up, we have Typhoon from the Romney Hythe and Dymchurch Railway in South England. This has been here for a long time. We've covered this one before during its extensive overhaul here. And the chassis is now complete and the boiler has passed its hydraulic test. So everything's going well with this engine and work will resume on it in September. And here is our old faithful diesel number 10, a very familiar face to the Vale of Rheidol. It's been here since 1988 and it was built at the Brecon Mountain Railway the year before that, ordered by BR, the railway's first passenger train hauling diesel engine. The engine, its original engine, a few months ago had started developing internal water leaks and had to be replaced, so it's now out of traffic. The engine had served it well for the last 40 odd years, and we are now in the process of fitting the new engine to it. The diesel actually failed during the hot, dry weather we recently had, leading to why we had to cancel trains here on the Vale of Rheidol over one weekend in July. Due to prolonged hot, dry weather, we couldn't run the coal-burning steam engines, and this engine failed at that time. So there's your explanation. So sat next to the diesel is another familiar face on the Vale of Rheidol. Up there all high and mighty is number 9, or 1213, the last of the three Rheidol tanks to be built at Swindon, this one in 1924. It came out of service just before COVID in March 2020, so it hasn't run since then, over 5 years ago now, and it's currently nearing the completion of an extensive 10-yearly overhaul. The chassis is now complete, and the boiler is also complete and passed its hydraulic tests. We've also got new tanks lying nearby, which will be the first installed on it since the originals actually. But these, like the other Rheidol tanks, will also conceal the air pump in the front of the driver's side tank so that it's not sitting on the front apron like it used to be. We're currently working very hard. It's our big priority at the moment to get this engine back in traffic. Once we're ready for it, you might ask, well, what livery is it going to be in this time? Good question. We'll go into the paint shop and find out. There, need I say any more? It's going in blue. Loads of people have asked for it, and it is a historically significant chapter in the Vale of Rheidol's history, so you wanted it, you got it. We're having number 9 back in its second incarnation of BR Blue, the one that was in use from the late 70s to the early 80s, with the white lining and big brass double arrows on the bunkers. BR Blue was a staple of the Vale of Rheidol, whether you like it or not, because these were the only 3 engines on the whole of BR's modern network at the time to ever wear the BR Blue. And it was described by one passenger at the time as a shock horror in West Wales, and some might still agree with this now, but be that as it may, we need to represent every aspect of the railway's history. And right up until the mid-80s, engines and carriages, some of them at least, remained in the BR Blue livery. And this was the way that the railway survived. If you don't like it, try and change your mind, because if it wasn't for everything going in BR blue and conforming to BR's modern image, it would have been because the railway was being closed. That was the only way that BR was going to carry on running the railway, and it was thanks to the efforts of George Dow and his staff at London Midland Region that the railway was allowed to continue at all. So I like it. So this is the actual colour that more like the colour that we're going to be using. What's on the cab now is just an undercoat. You'll notice it's quite a bit lighter than the actual real BR blue. So this is just an undercoat, and then we're going to have the proper livery applied in due course. Also, number 7 is going to be coming in for a repaint into BR lime green, also with nameplates. So for the big Steam Festival weekend at the end of October, on the 25th and 26th, we're going to have all 3 Rheidol tanks wearing their names and in various BR liveries for the first time in many years. So after all that excitement, we're going to finish down here in the carriage shed with this extremely large diesel, which has come up from the rest of the collection down in Surrey, Collection X that is. This will feature heavily in our plans going forward as, well, the engine's already gone off to Gardner's in Canterbury for overhaul. This is going to be restored to running order for next season. Due to the increasing risk of fires, hot and dry weather that we see now in this part of Wales the last year or so, we will, as from next year, have 1 oil burning engine, which will be number 9, and 1 diesel engine strong enough to haul a full set of carriages for use in such conditions. So this is a very important part of our plans over this winter. Speaking of Collection X, since it's just come up from there, I have here the cover graphic for the new Collection X book, the highly anticipated book written by Stephen Phillips and on the narrow gauge enigma that was Peter Rampton, who bought the Vale of Rheidol Railway with Tony Hills in 1989 and whose collection is now featuring heavily in our museum here in Aberystwyth. So we will detail this further in due course. And there we are. Once again, thanks again for joining us. Be sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see you again in the next one.